Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into your notes and excerpts from the AI on Job Seeking Guide, all about landing a tech job. Looks like you're ready to move beyond just hitting apply and really level up.
Yeah, it is interesting how the guide starts off. It compares job hunting to running a marathon, not just about speed, but pacing, strategy, mental toughness, all that.
Really good analogy,
hmm
especially with tech moving so fast. So how does this guide suggest we tackle this, like job hunt marathon?
Well, it lays out 6 key things to keep your mindset, healthy through the whole process, like setting boundaries, noticing the small wins. Those are big to avoid burnout. But what really jumps out is how much it focuses on LinkedIn. It actually calls it the digital cocktail party of the professional world.
Okay, so LinkedIn,
Yeah.
obviously huge for job seekers, but this guide seems to go deeper than just your basic profile stuff. That's the big takeaway there.
It's pushing for being more proactive and strategic. Not just applying, but building those relationships, getting your name out there, that kind of thing. One of the most interesting things it talks about is connecting with hiring managers or even team members before you apply.
Now that's interesting, almost like you're kind of bypassing the usual application thing. But how do you actually connect with those people? I mean, do you just,
Well, the guide has this whole step-by-step process. It starts with finding the right person on LinkedIn, maybe the hiring manager for the role or someone already on the team you'd be on.
okay, so you found them,
Yeah.
then what? Just send that generic connect request.
Oh, definitely not. That's where the actual text of your message is super important. It really stresses personalizing it. Mention something specific that you saw on their profile. A project, a shared connection, an article they shared, anything to show you actually looked them up.
So it's about your message standing out, not being that I'd like to add you, blah, blah, that everyone gets.
Exactly. The guide even says try to sound like you're already kind of in their network. Something like, enjoyed your post on X, and as someone also working in Y, figured it'd be good to connect.
Ah, clever. It's like you're establishing common ground right away, not just cold calling them.
Right. And it shows you're actually interested in them, not just using them to get a job.
Okay, so you sent the request, they hopefully accept. Then what? Do you immediately launch into the whole job pitch?
Not so fast. The guide says to send a follow-up, but again, the text is key. Thank them, say you're interested in their work or the company, and just kind of casually mention your job hunting.
So, like, thanks for connecting, exploring opportunities in field, and would love to hear about your experience at company. Something like that.
Exactly. You plant the seed without being too pushy.
Now, what if you already did apply to their company? How do you follow up then?
Good question. The guide says acknowledge your application, say you're still excited about it, maybe even ask them for insights about the company, the culture, the team you'd be in, that kind of thing.
So something like, thanks for connecting. By the way, I applied for the job title and am really impressed with company mission project. It would be great to hear about what it's like working there.
Perfect. You're keeping it focused on the connection, but they also know you're serious about the job.
This whole approach just feels so much smarter than blindly applying places.
It's about being strategic, building those relationships, makes you stand out more. And the
Yeah.
guide points out, even if this connection doesn't pan out, you've expanded your network, maybe learned something new.
So win-win,
Yeah.
even if you don't get that specific job.
Exactly. Now, another tactic it talks about is surfing your LinkedIn network to find those hidden opportunities.
Surfing LinkedIn. That sounds intriguing. Is this where I need my virtual surfboard?
Uh-huh. No virtual surfboard needed. It's more about using LinkedIn's tools and the people you already know to spot jobs that might not even be officially posted yet.
Okay, so how do you surf effectively?
Hmm.
Any secret techniques?
The guide gives a few. First off, use keywords like hiring, we're hiring, or open positions right in the search bar. Then filter it by posts and then connections to see what people you know are saying about hiring.
Ah, so you're seeing who in your network is talking about hiring.
Exactly. Like overhearing conversations you wouldn't normally be in on. It also suggests following those hiring managers and recruiters in your field. Their posts often give early hints about open roles.
And the more you like, comment, share their stuff, the more likely they'll notice you.
Right. It's showing you're actually interested, not just lurking in the shadows. And another good tip, check company pages on LinkedIn. They often post jobs there before they even hit those big job boards.
So it's like getting a sneak peek.
Yep. And if they share a job posting, look at who shared it. Might be the hiring manager themselves or someone on the team.
Ah, so then you can use that to connect with them directly, like we talked about before.
Exactly. Oh, and here's another cool trick. Use that people also viewed section. When you're on someone's profile, like a hiring manager, That section often shows other people with similar roles or at that same company.
Like a rabbit hole of potential connections. Find one person, and LinkedIn shows you a bunch more you might want to talk to.
Exactly. It can really help you grow your network and find those hidden gems.
This whole surfing thing is definitely way more proactive than just passively searching for jobs.
It is. And the guide's big on consistency. Even 15, 20 minutes a day surfing can make a difference.
So it's not about spending hours on LinkedIn, but making it a regular habit, like checking email or social media.
Exactly. Make it part of your day, be active, and be patient. The opportunities are out there. It's just knowing where to look and how to approach them.
Okay, so we've talked about connecting directly and this surfing thing. Any other LinkedIn strategies in this guide?
Oh, yeah. It talks a lot about LinkedIn Learning, especially if you've got LinkedIn Premium. It's really good for professional development.
LinkedIn Learning. I've heard of it, but haven't really dug in much.
It's got tons of courses on all sorts of stuff, technical skills, soft skills, you name it. And the guide really pushes taking courses on the skills that are trending in your industry right now.
Makes sense. It shows potential employers that you're keeping up with the latest and greatest, investing in yourself.
Exactly. And don't forget, add those finished courses, certifications, all that to your LinkedIn profile. Really signals to recruiters that you're serious about continuous learning.
So it's showcasing your skills, showing you're committed to growing, all within LinkedIn itself.
Right. Now, the guide also goes deep on how to make the most of LinkedIn Premium, especially if you're new to it.
Premium, yeah. I've been curious, is it actually worth it?
It can be really valuable, especially when you're serious about job hunting. It unlocks all sorts of features that give you a leg up.
Like what kind of features?
Well, first off, it gives you full access to LinkedIn Learning, which we just talked about. Plus, you get in-mail messaging, which lets you contact people you aren't connected to yet.
Ah, so you can reach out to hiring managers, recruiters directly without needing that initial connection.
Exactly. But the guide says use in-mail wisely. Don't spam people.
So how do you make those in-mail messages stand out?
Same idea as those connection requests.
Mhm.
Personalize it, do your research, mention something specific, show you genuinely care about their work, all that.
So treat them like mini cover letters, basically.
Exactly. Make them interesting, short, and sweet, and really tailored to the person you're reaching out to.
Okay, in-mail's one perk. What else does Premium do?
Another good one is Career Insights. Gives you data on how you compare to other people applying for the same job.
Oh, so you can see how your skills and experience stack up against the competition.
Exactly. Helps you see any weak spots in your qualifications or places where you could beef up your profile or resume.
That's super useful. It's like getting insider info on the whole hiring process.
And Premium actually highlights open roles where you're a top applicant based on your profile, so you can really focus your energy on applying for those jobs where you have a better shot.
That sounds like a huge time saver. Like LinkedIn's your personal job recruiter, pointing you to the right places.
Right. Then there's the who viewed your profile thing. With Premium, you can see everyone who's looked at your profile in the last 90 days, not just a limited number.
Ah, that's good intel. Especially if you see recruiters or hiring managers checking you out.
Exactly. The guide suggests sending a polite connect request if someone interesting viewed your profile. It's a proactive way to turn those views into actual connections.
So Premium definitely seems to have a lot of tools and insights that can really up your job search game.
Oh, absolutely. And the guide gives tons of advice on how to use those features, even if you're new to Premium. It's all about being strategic, organized, and really intentional with it.
Well, this has been a fascinating dive into LinkedIn and how it can really help in tech job hunting. Clearly, this guide is all about being proactive, not just sitting back and passively applying.
Absolutely. It's about using LinkedIn's power to build those relationships, showcase your skills, and find those hidden opportunities. And it all starts with knowing how to write messages that actually resonate with the people you're trying to connect with.
Well said. And this is just part one of our deep dive into tech job hunting. In part two, we'll go even deeper into the guide's tips for writing those messages, plus explore some of the psychological aspects of job hunting that it touches on. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into tech job hunting.
In part one, we were looking at the AI on job seeking guide, right? Uncovered some pretty cool LinkedIn strategies, especially that thing about connecting with people before you even apply for a job.
Yeah, and how getting the message right can make all the difference. But the guide actually goes way deeper into what to say, the tone to use in those messages and follow-ups. Let's get into that.
Definitely. The guide's big on this idea that whether it's a connection request, a message to a hiring manager, even just a follow-up after applying, your words are basically like your handshake in the digital world.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. So how do we make sure our digital handshake is, firm and memorable?
Well, the guide lays out this step-by-step process for connecting with people on LinkedIn, and it really hammers home the importance of personalization, like really making it specific to the person you're reaching out to.
We talked about that a bit before, but how do you actually personalize those connection requests? Give us some examples.
Think of it like this. Those generic one-size-fits-all messages, they're like those flimsy handshakes, they just blend in with all the others. But when you actually tailor your message to the person, their work, it shows you're really interested.
So say I found the hiring manager for a job I want. How do I write that first connection request? What's the magic formula for the text?
The guide says start by mentioning something specific that caught your eye on their profile. Could be a project they did, a skill they have, even an article they shared, anything like that.
So instead of I'd like to add you to my network, it's more like I was impressed by your work on Project X, and as someone also interested in Y, I'd love to connect.
Exactly. It shows you didn't just click a button and spam them.
It also kind of subtly positions you as someone already thinking about the role and how you could contribute.
Right. Plus, keep it short and sweet. Nobody wants to read a novel in their connection requests.
Okay, so you're connected. Now what? How do you actually start a conversation? Especially if you're hoping to learn more about a potential job.
Good point. The guide says send a follow-up, thanking them for connecting, and saying you're interested in the company, their work, that sort of thing. This is also a good spot to kind of casually mention your job hunting.
So something like, thanks for connecting. I'm currently exploring opportunities in my field, and I'd be interested in hearing about your experience at company name.
Perfect. It's low-key, but it gets the message across.
What if you already applied to their company? How do you follow up then?
Ah, good question. In that case, acknowledge the application, say you're still really excited about the opportunity. You could even ask them for some insights about the company culture, the team you'd be joining, stuff like that.
So, thanks for connecting. By the way, I applied for the job title position and am really impressed with Company Mission Project. Would love to hear what it's like working there. Like that.
Spot on. You're showing you're genuinely interested, not just going through the motions.
This is so much more, I don't know, human than just firing off applications into the void.
It is. And remember, even if this specific connection doesn't lead to a job, you've still built a relationship, maybe learned something new. It's all part of the process.
Now, the guide also mentions follow-ups after you've actually applied for a job. A lot of people struggle with those. How do you write a good one without sounding desperate or pushy?
Yeah, it's a fine line. The guide says wait at least a week or two after applying before you follow up, and then keep it short, professional, reiterate your interest, and maybe offer to provide more information if they need it.
So instead of did you get my application, it's more like I just wanted to reiterate my enthusiasm for the job title position and let you know I'm happy to provide any additional information if needed.
Exactly. It's polite, professional, shows you're proactive but not demanding.
What if you still haven't heard back after another week or two? Can you follow up again?
The guide says it's okay, but keep it brief and respectful. Maybe mention something specific from the job description that resonated with you, or highlight a relevant skill you have.
I'm still very interested in the job title position and believe my experience and relevant skill would be a great asset. Please let me know if there are any updates on a hiring timeline. Like that.
Perfect. You're showing you've really thought about the role and how you fit in.
All these tips for writing messages just emphasize how important your words are online. You got to make them count.
Absolutely. And the guide gives you a great framework for thinking about what to say, how to say it, and when to say it.
Now, beyond just the text and messages, are there any other kind of psychological aspects of job hunting that the guide addresses? Because it can be a real emotional roller coaster sometimes.
Oh, totally. The guide talks about that a lot, especially the importance of staying positive and resilient, which can be tough when you're facing rejection.
Yeah, rejection is part of the game, and it's easy to get down on yourself.
The guide reminds us that rejection isn't a reflection of your worth. It's often just a matter of timing, fit, or things you can't control.
Like dating, sometimes it's just not a match.
Exactly. And instead of dwelling on the negative, the guide encourages us to reframe rejection as a learning opportunity.
So how do you turn those no's into something positive?
Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve my application or interview skills for next time? Each rejection can help you refine your approach.
It's about turning those setbacks into stepping stones.
Exactly. And just as important, celebrate the small wins along the way.
Yeah, those little victories like updating your resume, getting an interview, even just sending out a bunch of well-written applications can really boost your spirits.
They remind you that you're making progress, even if it doesn't always feel like it.
The guide also talks about maintaining some semblance of work-life balance during the job hunt. Easy to let it consume you.
So true. But it's key to set boundaries and make time for things you enjoy, help you de-stress, spending time with people you care about, hobbies, exercise, all that.
It's about remembering you're a person, not just a job applicant.
Exactly. And the guide even suggests incorporating some, get this, Stoic philosophy into your job search strategy.
Stoicism. How does that apply to job hunting?
Well, Stoicism is all about focusing on what you can control and accepting what you can't. In the job search, that means focusing on crafting great applications, networking effectively, preparing for interviews, all that.
And letting go of the things you can't control, like the hiring manager's decision or the company's internal processes.
Exactly. It's about shifting your mindset from worry to action.
That's pretty powerful, especially when so much of the process feels out of your hands.
It really can make a difference in how you feel throughout the whole job search.
So we've talked about LinkedIn strategies and the psychological side of things. What else does the guide cover?
Well, a big chunk of it is dedicated to really utilizing LinkedIn Premium, especially if you're new to it.
We touched on Premium earlier, but let's unpack those features. What are some of the key benefits that the guide highlights?
It starts by really emphasizing LinkedIn Learning. It's like a gold mine of professional development resources. Premium users get full access, and it can be super valuable for learning new skills, staying current, and making your resume stand out.
So it's using LinkedIn not just to find jobs, but to actually improve your skills and grow professionally.
Exactly. And the guide recommends taking advantage of those curated learning paths. They give you a structured way to learn specific skills or work towards specific career goals.
Like a personalized roadmap for your career.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, Premium highlights courses that are in high demand by employers in your field, so you can focus on the skills that'll give you an edge.
That's super helpful, especially in tech where things change so fast.
Another big one is in-mail messaging, which we talked about before. It lets you reach out to people you're not connected with, which is huge for connecting with hiring managers, recruiters, anyone really.
But as we said, you got to use InMail strategically.
Oh, absolutely. No spamming people with generic messages. Personalize it, show you've done your research, and be genuinely interested in the person and their work.
What other goodies does Premium unlock?
There's Career Insights, which gives you data on how you compare to other applicants for a specific job.
So you can see where you stack up against the competition.
Exactly. It can help you spot any weaknesses in your qualifications or areas where you could improve your application.
It's like having a secret weapon.
Right. And Premium actually shows you open roles, where you're considered a top applicant based on your profile, so you can focus on applying to jobs where you actually have a good chance.
That saves so much time and energy.
And then there's Who Viewed Your Profile, which shows you everyone who's checked you out, including those all-important recruiters and hiring managers.
Like peeking behind the curtain of the hiring process.
You can use that info to reach out to people who've shown interest, expanding your network even further.
So it really seems like Premium gives you a lot more control over your job search.
It does. And there's even more, like Salary Insights, which lets you compare salary ranges for different roles, experience levels, and locations.
That's got to be helpful for knowing your worth.
And you get access to premium job listings, which are often for harder to find roles or those with fewer applicants. Plus, the advanced search filters let you really narrow down your search and target specific jobs.
It's like having a personal job recruiter working for you 24/7.
The guide really makes the case that LinkedIn Premium is an investment in your career. It's a tool that can take your job search to the next level, expand your network, and help you learn valuable skills.
But like with any tool, it's all about how you use it.
For sure. Spend some time getting to know the features, try different strategies, and keep track of what's working. Premium can be a game changer, but it's not magic. You still need to put in the work, be persistent, and stay positive.
This has been a really interesting look at how LinkedIn Premium can boost your job hunting efforts.
It's a powerful set of tools, especially when you combine it with the other strategies we've talked about.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've covered a ton in our look at tech job hunting, from LinkedIn strategies to like the mental game and even those premium features.
It's wild how job hunting itself is almost as tech-heavy as the jobs people want now.
Yeah, it really is. But with all these digital tools and tricks, one thing's still super important. networking. This guide really stresses that.
Networking, it's like the secret weapon of job hunting, right?
Yes.
And in tech, where who you know can make a huge difference, it's more important than ever.
The AI on Job Seeking Guide has a lot to say about networking, but it's not just the usual go-to events, collect business card stuff. It's all about using LinkedIn to build those real, meaningful relationships.
Right. It's not just having a profile. It's about actually using it. Talking to people, keeping those connections going, and making sure the right people see you.
So let's break down some of the strategies. The guide starts with your profile. That's your first impression online, right?
Totally. Your LinkedIn profile, it's like your online resume and your personal brand all in one. It says, use a good, clear headshot, professional looking, and a headline that really grabs attention, highlighting your main skills.
And that summary section, got to make it good too, right? Showcasing your unique selling points and what you want to achieve in your career.
For sure. And list your skills and experience in detail, using those keywords that recruiters are going to be searching for.
It's all about making it easy for the right people to find you in that sea of profiles.
Exactly. But it's not just about setting up your profile and forgetting it.
Yeah.
The guide's big on actually engaging with your network.
Okay, so what does that actually look like?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
It's about being part of the community, like comment, share stuff that you find interesting, join groups that are relevant to you, and get involved in the discussions.
It's about being present and contributing, not just lurking.
Exactly. The guy also says, reach out to people you admire or who work at companies you're interested in. Remember those personalized connection requests we talked about? Same idea here.
So find something on their profile, something about their work, that shows you're not just mass messaging everyone.
Right. And once you're connected, don't be shy. Start a conversation, ask for advice, share your thoughts, or just congratulate them on something they've done.
It's like building a relationship step by step.
Exactly. Oh, and LinkedIn events are good too. The guide mentions those. It's a great way to learn stuff, meet people in your field, all that.
'Cause, yeah, those online conferences and webinars, they can be really valuable.
And don't forget to follow up with people after the event, the speakers, organizers, whoever.
Yeah.
It's a good way to stay on their radar.
So the big takeaway is, networking is about building real relationships, not just collecting contacts.
Totally. It's not about using people to get a job. It's about connecting with people who get you, supporting each other, and building something that benefits everyone.
And who knows what opportunities might come from those relationships, right?
Exactly. But I know networking can be scary, especially for people who are more introverted or just don't like reaching out to strangers. The guide talks about that too.
What does it say? Any tips for those of us who aren't natural networkers?
It says try to shift your mindset. Instead of thinking about promoting yourself, think about being genuinely curious and wanting to help others. Everyone has something to offer, no matter what their job title is.
So approach it as a chance to learn and grow, not just a way to get a job.
Exactly. And remember, it's a two-way street. Be open-minded, be willing to give and take, and you can build a network of people who really support you.
Well, this has been a fantastic journey through this world of tech job hunting. We've covered so much, from how to write the perfect LinkedIn message to the importance of making genuine connections.
It's definitely a lot to take in, but with the right approach and mindset, it's totally doable.
And this AI on Job Seeking Guide, it's a really great resource for anyone trying to navigate the tech job market today.
It is. Tons of practical advice, different perspectives, and even some motivation to keep you going. Because job hunting, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
And sometimes the best part of the journey is what you learn, who you meet, and how you grow along the way.
Couldn't agree more. So to all those tech job seekers out there, keep learning, keep connecting, and keep believing in yourselves. Your dream job is out there.
And that's it for this deep dive into tech job hunting. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring.
Until next time, happy job hunting.
And keep diving deep.